Aloha everyone. Welcome back to Doing Wise Nighttime Backyard Chat. I'll be doing these type of streams uh, while everyone is locked in their houses, just to provide a little extra entertainment. Change from the what's become the new norm. Jeremiah, hey guy, how's it going? So I'll give it a few minutes for some other people to join in, and then we'll get into this little backyard chat adventure. Aloha Taz. Aloha Dana. Glad you could make it. DMX. Aloha. So, let's see. Where shall we begin? Tonight we're going to begin with the numbers. I think that's how we'll start this off every night. And take the four-wheelers to the waterfalls. Um, yeah, we might be doing some of that. Who knows? I do know I'm going to go out to the lighthouse on the ATV here soon. Because I'm getting bored. So let's go ahead and start off with the numbers. Um, for the coronavirus stuff. Looking at the global stage, we are up to 278,507 cases. Aloha Marlia. And up to 11,524 deaths. But we are looking at a recovery rate of 91,096. That's actually 33% of the reported cases showing recovery, which is good. That's the number we want to definitely see go up for sure. Moving to the U.S., New York is still ranking number one with 8,516 cases, 44 deaths, with 0 recoveries reported this time. However, total recovery rate for the U.S. right now is still quite low. It's at 1%, which is 26 cases out of 19,270 reported and 250 deaths. My home state of Florida has actually increased. They're up to 563 cases with 11 deaths now. And my new home, my permanent home, Hawaii that is actually gained some new cases as well. And that number is up to 37 statewide. We have had 0 deaths yet so far and 0 recovery. It getting here is still relatively new. I can say that Hawaii State is one of the last states in the American Union to show cases, which actually is a little surprising for me. I kind of expected Hawaii to be very similar to New York because we have a lot of international travel here, and just like New York does, and I really would have expected to see more here. However, our government is starting to finally, I guess, take this a little bit more serious. More talks are going on about what to shut down and how to shut down, but nothing here on the Big Island has really been done of any major significance. A lot of restaurants, even are closing their dining areas, still letting pick up and take out and delivery and stuff, which I think is great. And a lot of the state parks are being closed as well. So on state level, the state's done some stuff. On the county level, not a whole lot. Jeremiah just says Poiki closes tomorrow morning, so that's good. Okay, that was odd. He just told me I was reconnecting and then said I was live. But I've got full Wi-Fi signal, so I have no idea what that's about. County parks closed Saturday. Yes, Jeremiah. Yeah, there was a lot of announcements of stuff that was finally going to be closed, and which I think is good. Like I said in last night's chat, I really believe that the U.S. should do something that's pretty much unprecedented in our nation, and that is literally just shut down for 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, close everything that can possibly be closed. I mean, I know there are some, critical systems and industries that have to remain functional in order, for the nation to basically take a vacation and keep all that, going. Aloha, Sophia. Aloha, Jan. But yeah, I really think that right now is our best way because a lot of people are going to get sick from this if there is person to person transmission in public, and that's pretty much the way it's been transmitting now. People don't even know they're infected. They get a little cough or a sneeze, and they don't think much of it. And now the surfaces that they were encountered out in public are now contaminated. And someone comes along with them and touches it, not thinking that there's any issue, and disinfecting the entire city and all the public areas is just probably a project that would be way too large, and I don't think it would actually be sufficient because then other people come along and um, and recontaminate the surfaces. So I just think that if we can eliminate the majority of the population from going into public areas for a while, that that would allow the people that are infected and don't know it to go through the cycle and preferably survive it, recover. But it would prevent transmission from new people, and I think that could possibly burn it out of our society, in general. If it can't spread, it can't infect new people, and if it can't infect new people, it can't continue its life cycle. So I really am a big supporter of that one. And I know, financial markets and all kinds of other industries, especially here in Hawaii, tourism being our number one source of influx of capital and revenue, for our economy, is going to take a big hit. But it's one of those things, people's lives and health is more important than money. So I think all the businesses should get together and say, okay, look, let's just shut everything business wise down for a month or 2 months. So basically, you'll still owe your mortgage payments, but we won't charge you that month. We'll just move everything a month forward, in payment schedules and stuff, and and all kinds of do things like that, where so people don't have to worry about having money to survive for a month because they're not going to be charged anything for anything, and so companies and certain businesses are going to lose certain revenues and things like that. But they'll recover. That's the beautiful thing. Once this is all over, there'll be a big boom in travel again, and especially in travel because people are going to be so stir crazy from being home for so long. They're gonna go. They're not going to wait to get out and go traveling. So I know it'd be difficult, but oh, let's see. Looks like y'all are talking about the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The park itself is open. They're not even charging fees. But there's basically no park facilities being are available. No rangers for guided tours, things like that. The visitor center is all shut down, things like that. But Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park is actually a federal park, so that's all going to really depend on the federal government there. Yes, Sophia, I do believe those parks are going to be part of the closure. I mean, at this point, I really think all the parks, all public spaces should be, closed. Because even, the funny thing though is even though, we make these closures and stuff, people are still going out there, and I understand people spend a lot of money to come here, and they want to get out and see and do stuff, and it's sad, and it sucks. I mean, I'd be very upset too, but in this particular case I would probably turn around and just go home, cut my vacation short. So but I think another thing that should happen is I think the federal government here, at least here in the US, and I think worldwide, They should order the airlines to allow people to cancel their flights and get a full refund. Simple as that. If people get their money back and won't lose it, then they won't travel. But a lot of people go ahead and travel because they know they're going to lose a lot of money if they don't, and they don't want to lose that money. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to lose it either. But me on the other hand, I would say, okay, if I can't get a refund, I'm going to lose my money if I cancel. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel anyways. But that's me. But yeah, I think if the airlines and the other travel facilities basically did that, allow people to cancel and give them full refunds, they would see a lot more cancellations, obviously, and we see a lot less travel, and there won't be so much spread of this. But that's just my opinion. So that is that. However, I have been noticing my taking on the germaphobe type approach to this. It's kind of increased my anxiety a little bit, I think, now, because every time I touch something, I'm like having to second guess it. Who touched this last? Like stuff from the grocery store. All the boxes and cans and things. I think, okay, people pick stuff up and they put it back down, and then of course you got the workers, stocking the shelves and stuff, and there's no idea or no way to know if any of these people, are carrying, the coronavirus or not. So, and we have learned that it will survive on surfaces, between for up to 24 hours to 3 days, depending on the material. So anything potentially picked up off a grocery room shelf could be contaminated, and we don't know. So every time I pick up a box or a can or whatever, I think about that. But I'm not freaking out over it too much. I mean, what am I going to do? So when I basically, go to cook something or whatever, I will open up, all the packaging, uh, and then go wash my hands before I actually touch the food of it, or that's in the packaging, and finish preparing whatever, and then close up all the packaging and put it away. So it's really interesting how, I'm even modifying my behavior just domestically. So what about y'all? No, just looking through the comments here. Yeah, Jeremiah, I think about that too. I mean, I mostly use my card. So, and now a lot of the places that I do frequent, let me stick it in the machine, because it's the chip cards now. So no one's touching my card, and even if they do want to, I was like, no, let me do it. I won't touch it, and I hate having to sign. So I'll actually pull my shirt tail out, stick my finger in it, and use that. Um, but I haven't had to worry about that too much. I've been staying homebound mostly, and I haven't had to go out anywhere to get anything. DMX, where did you get that information from? Because what I've heard is pretty much on hard surfaces like plastic and steel, it can last up to 3 days. Softer materials like cardboard and clothing, it's 24 hours. So where does 9 days come from? I'd be curious in looking at that. Oh, Jan, that's good. So when you say our government, is that American government, European government, which government? I mean, because I'll be honest with you, I don't remember if you're U.S. or somewhere else in the world, DMX. So if it's U.S. government, then that would be the CDC. Okay, you're the UK. And I think that's another problem with this virus. A lot of the official, quote official official sources, you know, are giving different information about what's what, and so it's kind of hard to keep some of it straight. If y'all hear me munching on anything, it's ice from my drink. I like to eat ice. I can't help myself. Oh, that reminds me. Got some other news to share with y'all. I received some interesting emails today, and some of it good, some of it bad. Some good news, I guess we'll start with that one first, is on my cable service, I got noticed that, or my TV service, excuse me, I got notified that channels like Showtime and things like that are giving free access, or my service is giving free access to that content until April something, like next 30 days, whatever. So that was kind of cool. And that includes their on demand stuff. So I'm happy about that. Uh, I've also got notices from my financial service basically telling us that the offices will be closed, but they're setting up everything for us to do everything remotely best they can. Blah blah blah. Which that's all good to hear as well. But the bad news is as of today, I'm officially out of work. I got notified that my day job that I do, that some of the facilities that I utilize in order to do my job are shutting down until the foreseeable future, which technically puts me out of business in that respect. So my day job is now on hold, which is kind of interesting because during the eruption, of course, that wasn't affected. I was able to keep my day job going, but because of the eruption, I took some time off from it. Obviously, I had to. There was no way I could do that. But in this particular case, there's absolutely nothing I can do. It's all out of my control. So I'm completely reliant financially now on YouTube ad revenue, which isn't too bad. I mean, it's nowhere near what I need to do basic survival, but cutting expenses and I haven't spent a lot of money recently. I haven't had any really to spend, but I'll be fine for a while, I hope. Yeah, it's not good, Jan, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not the only one in that situation. There are a lot of other people out there, especially people in the service industry. They don't get paid, time off and stuff like that. So they're basically in the same position. Their job shut down for the next 30 days as well. But I'm not quite sure, how long mine will be. The message was basically, basically out of business starting today until, undetermined. So it's all going to depend on how fast this stuff moves, through and, burns itself out. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Xander, I know. Yeah, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people. Yeah, so if that's why I say, businesses, like mortgage companies and things like that, they should simply say, look, okay, we're going to put your mortgage on hold. We're going to pause it until, this is over, so a month or 2 months, granted, you're still going to have to make those payments, but we'll stick them at the end of your loan. So your mortgage term increases by 2 months because they have deferred payment programs anyways for people that are financially struggling. So this should be something they should just do automatically. And then poof, all of a sudden, one of the biggest expenses that homeowners have is magically put on pause and they don't have to worry about it. They got no income coming in, but they got no income going out. I mean, it's a real simple solution. But the question is whether these businesses will do it. I know mortgage companies offering to help people, out and stuff like that, but they're talking about it being a case by case basis or something. I don't know. I haven't looked into that a lot, but yes, Dana, I did hear that about the tax deadline. Oh, yeah. Well, Jeremiah, I expected that to happen to you. I actually expected it to happen sooner for you. Because I know that's one of the places that started taking some of the first hits with this because people stopped going out. So is your restaurant still going to be doing delivery and stuff like that? Because I know some companies have stated that they've had to lay people off and because businesses dropped and blah, blah, blah. But, I don't. what I say, here's a great opportunity for people to, or for businesses, restaurants to actually modify their business model and start doing, more of a home delivery. I mean, you got the Scrub Hub and all this stuff, where you can order takeout. It's time to start utilizing those services, and providing, and, provide your takeout, not just, within a half a mile radius of your store. Go out a little bit further. And then all those people that would normally, be waiting tables can now become, delivery personnel, and still be safe, because everybody's going to pay on credit card. So basically, you drop the food at the door, you knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and out you go, you know? So, I mean, like zero contact, but yet you can still continue doing business. At least that's the way I see it. Well, that's what I'm saying, Jeremiah. Your company should actually start doing delivery. I mean, there's a lot of people that would prefer to get food delivered at home versus having to go out and wait at a restaurant. They'd rather wait at the house, because that's one thing I miss from Florida is there were so many different restaurants that actually deliver, to where I live. So if I didn't want to go somewhere, I could have it brought to me. And here in Hawaii, if you don't live in places, like Hilo and Kona and stuff like that, finding companies or businesses that actually deliver to you is difficult, especially when you live out in the more, um, I don't know what to call this area, uh, rural area. Yeah, see, Dana, that's what I'm talking about. There's opportunity here. Ooh, Galaxy Ranger. No, that's direct contact and huge risk. So yeah, so there are some industries out there that are literally out of business because of it. Yeah, I actually haven't looked into that, Xander. I don't know if they're actually, hiring or not. I imagine they would be. I mean, because I imagine, for the companies that do utilize those services, order demand has probably went way up. Yeah, Daphne, that's what I'm telling him. He needs to talk to whoever and tell him, look, here's an opportunity. And you could even volunteer to be one of the first drivers, but you want to raise. Ha! Well, some of the world DMX. Here in the U.S., we're just now starting to reach for the pause button. We were a little slow to it, but we are home of the capitalist, so we know we know what makes the decisions here. See, Jeremiah, you got to jump on these opportunities, dude. You could be the hero of Black Rock Cafe. You saved it by you know giving the idea to the owner that he should have had himself. I mean, heck, actually, you know what you should do? You should contact the people from Poncho's Tacos and offer to do delivery service for them. Because I would be on some of the first people to order. Because I wanted to the other day when we were out in Hilo coming back, we come through Pahoa. I wanted to see if Poncho's Tacos was open because I was going to stop there and get some. But they weren't there. They apparently already have shut down. Yeah, DMX, it is a little scary when you crunch the numbers. But, we all as a society, as a people, can actually change those numbers very easily. If we all are responsible not only for our own health, but take consideration for other people's health as well, and don't do things that could potentially, spread the virus, to other people, whether you got it or not, then yeah, we could stop this pretty quickly. But unfortunately, there is a segment of the global population, it's not just Americans, it's all over the world, that think they're, immortal or immune to it and choose to go ahead and do whatever regardless. And then they get it and they spread it around because they don't know they've got it until they know they've got it. And but then it's too late for other people that, were out innocently trying to get food or or whatever, they needed and end up getting, contaminated with it because of those other people, and it's just so it's we're in one of these times where we have to dig deep into ourselves and push past our own selfishness and realize that, it's time to be conscious of others, regardless of what walk of life we come from or where we are in the world. This is not a me problem. This is a us problem, and it's just that simple. Aloha Gwen, Aloha Shelly West or Shell West. Who else just came in? Let me look. Let me look. Daphne. Yeah, sorry about that one. It's nighttime. The tongue don't work so well at night. Um, so aloha to you, Janet. Who else? Who else? Who else? Kate, Katie. Yes, Katie and Gwen. I think it's hello, Gwen. But aloha to everybody else that just came in. If I missed you, um, DMX. I don't know about martial law. I mean, that's a little extreme. But I do think that our local law enforcement should be out at some of the local gathering places that people are still insisting on going to, like the beaches, and start writing citations, just like they did during the eruption here in Leilani Estates. Even though we were on private roads and parked on the side of the road, uh, some people got citations for blocking traffic during an emergency situation, even though there was zero traffic. And there would continue to be zero traffic because no one was being let into the area. So, yeah. But they still wrote citations for that. Why aren't they out at the beach writing citations for people that are violating the close order on the beaches? Well, I'm not saying it wouldn't work, DMX, but I think as a society, we can deal with this without having to do that if we all do our part. Like I said just a few minutes ago, it's not a me problem, it's an us problem. And we have to take that mentality. We have to start thinking outside the box and start thinking, how can I protect other people? Because just by the act of protecting other people from you potentially contaminating them, whether you're infected or not, just taking those actions um, has a domino effect throughout society. But everybody's got to do it. Everybody, no matter how dead set you are that you're going to be fine. There's been people out there that didn't think they were going to get it. I'm sure, and well, now they're in the hospital on a respirator. And I hate to be that blunt with it, but that's kind of just the way it is. Yes, China is doing very, very well. They've got a very high recovery rate now. So it's pretty much running its course there, but that's not surprised. They were the first area to for it to show up, obviously, Wuhan province. So it was only logical that they'll be the first area to recover from it. Yes, DMX, Wuhan province was where the outbreak started. Patient zero for the pandemic was from there. Yeah, exactly, Jan. That's the best way to beat this. Let's turn the camera over here a little bit. Change the view some. I mean, that's the way we flatten out the curve because the problem with this virus is yeah, is a bad one. There's no doubt about that. But the survival rate really depends on the curve, the infection curve. If too many people get infected too quickly, then our medical capacity to handle that would be completely overwhelmed. And when the medical systems are maxed out like that, people, a lot more people die. It's just that simple. I mean, if you can't get care because there's no equipment available, there's no medicine available, there's no, you know, services available, then what are you going to do? You're going to go home and you're going to hope you recover normally. And if you don't, well, that's that. But if we can flatten out that infection curve and stretch it out so that we don't have a huge number of cases going to the hospital, then the hospital and medical systems can take care of those people and the death rate will be much much lower, and the spread will slow down and minimize as well. So again, it's not a me problem, it's an us problem, and that's just the mentality that every last one of us on this planet is going to have to take. And it's kind of funny because I think this is the first global crisis that modern humans, short of what 1918 with the Spanish flu, I think it was, um, but in more modern times, the 2000s at least, that's been a global thing. There's no one safe from it. And speaking of, that brings up a very interesting thing um, that I haven't seen any numbers from, and let me make it very clear. I do not support the North Korean government and regime in any way, nor do I support any government that acts, suppressing human rights and things of that nature. But simple point is I haven't seen any numbers out of North Korea. I don't know if that's because they're being suppressed by other governments, or if they're not releasing it, or if no one's even asked. But I'm concerned for the people there, the average citizens, because we know that their medical care and their systems, based on information that we do have, is you know subpar, to say the least. So I'm really concerned for those people, and with all the sanctions against them, if a cure is found or treatment is found, then it should be given to them as well. Simple as that. I mean, I was looking at the numbers, and we have reports from Cuba, and a lot of information from Cuba is usually suppressed because of sanctions and things of that nature as well in the media. But we do have numbers from Cuba. Aloha, Liz. Aloha, Beverly. Yes, Jan, I heard that too about the doctor that blew the whistle on it. Aloha, Linda. DMX, yeah, they are supposedly isolated, but not completely. There are other, communist countries that trade with them, like China. So I would not be surprised if the virus is in North Korea. Uh, I actually I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Oh, aloha, Liz. I think I said aloha to you. If I didn't, I did now. Well, Jan, they fired two ballistic missiles in the ocean today. Maybe that's them signaling for help. But yeah, I'm concerned about those people. Actually, for any countries where they're under very suppressive regimes of that nature, I'm concerned for the people. So yeah, so that's my little spiel with that one. It's just I was thinking about that last night and wondering, because like I've said quite a few times, it's not a me problem, it's an us problem. No, Liz, staying home is not as easy as you would think, and I think that's one of the amazing little phenomena. Actually, there's a couple phenomena that I want to talk about. One of the first one, of course, is just our own individual behavior, realizing just how, and I'm going to use this word, how spoiled we are with our modern conveniences and access to resources. And now that we have to basically ration our time out in public, we realize just how dependent we are on those type of things. And it does put a lot of stuff into perspective. One of the other things that I've seen appearing in the news and some other sources is dealing with global pollution levels and things of that nature. I forget what the pollutant is. It's nitrogen something that's in the atmosphere over China. Since all the factories and stuff had to shut down, 75-80% of that pollution has cleared out. There are places reporting that they can see the sky for the first time and they can't remember when. There are areas, harbors, and other waterways and water systems where boat traffic has pretty much dropped off to nothing, and a lot of sea life, dolphins and stuff like that, are actually, coming into those waters again because they're no longer muddy and murky. And then I don't know how true this one is, but I saw a thing on Facebook showing the canals over in Venice, and due to the water traffic there being zero, the waters have cleared to crystal clear. You can see the bottom, and it happened pretty quickly. So it makes you do wonder, or not wonder, but it does show you just how much of an impact human activity has on our environment. And so, ironically enough, I think we can use some of these areas that the Earth is healing itself pretty rapidly in, can be used as examples showing the true impact of human activity, and that what we are doing is changing, our environment, and most likely changing it for the worse. Aloha, Maria. I did not see you come in. I'm just scrolling back through the comments. So yeah, so those are pretty much my thoughts on all this. I try to stay logical about it. I mean, getting emotional over something you have no control over doesn't do you any good. So, and that's going to be my advice to all y'all wonderful people out there. Try not to stress over this. Try to keep your anxiety low. Take this time that you're spending at home and be constructive with it. There's projects around the house that you've been putting off because you just didn't have the time to do. Now's the perfect time to do it. It'll help pass the time. You'll be productive. You'll also be happy when you complete whatever project it was. Um, for those that have always been maybe interested in learning how to cook, a lot of great cooking videos on YouTube. So here's a great opportunity to teach yourself to cook. Anyone that's into arts and crafts that wanted to try new projects or try that stuff, again, there's a lot of great videos on YouTube showing you how to do some of that stuff. Um, so here's a chance for you to explore, something within yourself that you've always wanted to do but never had the time to do. I mean, so you got to take, and look at the positive side of this, and try to find positive, things in it that you can utilize. You never know. You might, fall into something you enjoy, more than you ever thought you would, and it could become the basis of what you live your life around. Who knows? Yeah, when exactly your son doing artwork. Some people always want to be an artist. Well, guess what? Sit down and start doodling, start drawing. There are a lot of great videos on YouTube that will teach you how to draw. Um, I mean, so you're pretty much, granted that we're all stuck at home for whatever the reasons in our areas. This is an opportunity to do some of those things that we always said we don't have time to do. So I encourage everyone to put your thinking cap on and start thinking about, what was the last thing I said I wanted to do but didn't have time to do, but I can do at home? Go do it. What else do you got to do? I mean, you can only watch so much Netflix and TV until everything becomes reruns because you've seen it all. I mean, I'm pretty much that way with Netflix, anyways. I don't even have a Netflix account anymore simply because all the things that they put up there I've already seen, in some form, or I'm not interested in. So, that's why I was really happy when Showtime and HBO, or at least when my service provider told me I was going to have access to that stuff for free. I've actually already downloaded 3 or 4 movies from the on demand, and they're in there waiting for me to go watch. Which is why I started this stream a little early. Well, one of the reasons. There's another reason, but they know who they are. Hey, Galaxy, that's a great project to do. For those that maybe don't have the resources or the finances to do some of these projects they want to do, there's an idea. Not necessarily paint your place, but how about rearrange your furniture, change it up, move your couch and chairs around, change the orientation of your dining room table, organize your kitchen cabinets and pantries. Um, go through your closet and decide what you want to keep and what you never wear, and when, of course, it's safe to do so, give it to Goodwill or any other charity that can use those clothes. So there's a lot of things we can actually do to keep ourselves busy and occupied during this. We just got to be creative and yeah. And it's like I have plenty to keep me busy. I got all the projects for this YouTube I'm working on, and a lot of the places that I film, there's usually no one around, so Taz, you dozed off for a little bit. The frogs put you to sleep, uh, or was it me being so boring that put you to sleep? Either way, it's cool with me. Of course, it sounds like work, Jan. That's why we put it off and said we don't have the time for it because it was work. Yep, and take some time off to watch some movies. You got to have some entertainment along with the work. But however, though, I am going to advise people that like to cook because I've read some comments and stuff on Facebook for some of the forums and stuff there, groups, and a lot of people saying, "Oh, I've been cooking a lot more lately." I would say try to resist that. One, conserve the resources because we don't really know how long this is going to last and exactly how it's going to affect transportation of goods and food products and stuff like that. So just be safe, and two, if you start cooking a lot, that means you're going to start eating more, and that means you're going to be starting to put on weight that maybe necessarily you weren't trying to gain. Just saying. Oh wow, Sue, 318. Goodness. Let's see. It's 819 here in Hawaii. So let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Well, 7 hours. Where does that put you, Sue? Well, Liz, you should start looking up some. Your sis don't cook, but now she has no choice. You should start looking up some great cooking videos on YouTube and send her the links. That'll help her out. Yeah, it's the it's warm white LED floodlights. They're actually very good, and they use very little power. Nova Scotia, Canada. Okay, so that puts you in that time zone, one off of the east coast of the U.S. That'd be why it's 3 o'clock there. So Taz, 11 o'clock there. That puts you in Pacific time zone, doesn't it? Yes, Sophia, we know you have a passion for cooking. Cooking at home is healthier than eating out. Yes, Gwen, it is, but it's all about moderation. Who was it? Oh, there they are. Liz. Oh, you asked me to voice sleep. Yeah, inside somewhere. Actually, Goliath is laying over there by the door, waiting for me to come in. Let's see. We made chili and potato soup. Ooh, that sounds good. Actually, I had steak and rice tonight for dinner. I treated myself, and it was good too. Yeah, so just warning people, you be nice and you be polite in my chat, or you get removed. This is a safe space. We don't deal with BS here. Okay, Liz, what is that? I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. No problem, Sue. You have a great night. I'm about finished up here anyways. This actually is the longest one, in the first three. But like I said last night, as conversation gets good, who knows how long it'll last. But thanks for joining in. We'll see you tomorrow. Mexican meatball soup. I have never heard of Mexican meatball soup. And I'm from Florida, and we have a very strong Spanish influence in food there. Baltazar, aloha. Actually, that's got me curious now, Liz. Mexican meatball soup. I'm gonna have to look that up. Andy makes that? Makes what exactly? Strange. Because I'm not sure if we're talking. Let's see, because someone says PF Chang. I don't know. I got kind of lost in the chat there. Yeah, it does, Jan. That's why I'm curious exactly how. Obviously it's got meatballs in it, but the soup. You know, this is going to be a good conversation when we start talking about food. Oh, and speaking of food, when I'm waiting on Liz to tell me more about that Mexican meatball soup, I do have all the ingredients to do the manicotti uh, recipe, and I've decided I am going to film that. I will not be doing it live though, because it's not a complex recipe, but it takes a little focus and concentration to make sure I put everything together right. So I will be filming that, and I will be putting that up on the channel. See, that's actually one of the good things, with all this, with the stupid virus for me, is it forces me to stay home and do some cooking videos or something else, like these chats. Because normally, I'm out and about, either down at Scott's Lot, looking at stuff, out droning somewhere, and if I'm not doing that, I'm working on the website, or running errands in town, doing daily life. Ooh, actually, everything so far, Liz, sounds very good in that recipe, except for the zucchini. I don't care for zucchini very well. Oh, and something else too. Last night after I did the live stream or ended the live stream, I actually took the my other camera and I put it out front in a nice protected place, and I got I think it's about an hour's worth of video uh, and audio of the coquis and the rain. I haven't previewed it yet, but it should be pretty good. I'll probably cut that down to the best, maybe 15 minutes of that, and I'll put it up on the channel. So if anyone wanted to like play the rain and the coquis in the background on a loop to change their the ambiance of their environment for a while, that will be available probably sometime tomorrow. Well, no worries, Kelly. Like I just said, I'm going to have a nice audio loop for y'all. Oh, is that linked to the recipe you posted, Dana? Is that the Mexican meatball soup? Because I've noticed some of the recipes from some of these sites, they're they're not very good. And it has started to rain. Actually, maybe I'll work on that audio loop when I get done doing this stream. Which, with the rain starting, I may have to end here soon. Uh, if it gets too heavy. Right now, it's just a nice uh, light rain. Ah, aloha, Andy. Yes, thank you. Liz was telling us about it and the ingredients. Do you put zucchini in yours in the soup base? Out of curiosity, because that's what Liz does. Yeah, Jan, that's kind of what I do with those recipe sites. Use them as a guide, but then say, okay, I know this would be better because a little bit of experience in cooking. Yes, Linda, the rain does keep things nice and green here. However, there is a such thing as too much of a good thing, and we do get a lot of rain on this particular area of the island. I do live in an ohia rainforest. So yeah, I think the giveaway is in the name. But I would rather be here than most other places, anyways. Rain or no rain. Okay, I prefer the rain. Oh, Sophia just told someone to dig into their pantry and improvise. That can be an amazing experience, but warning, it can also be a major disaster. I've done that a few times, and there are some things that should not be put together. However, I did find one thing that goes really well. This is actually a quick little recipe. It's real simple. If you like cheddar cheese and you like dill pickles, then you're gonna love this. But if you don't like either one of those two ingredients, because that's all that's in it, then you're not gonna like it at all. But what you do is you get a dill pickle, preferably the spicy dills, and you lay them out long ways, and you cut a slot, down the length of it, and scoop out the insides, almost like creating a little canoe. And then you take cheddar cheese and you slice up chunks and you stuff it in the slot, and you put the pickles on on a dish, either a cookie sheet or a baking pan, anything like that, and you stick it in the oven under the broiler, and you hit it on the broiler for high until the cheese melts and starts turning brown on the top. There's basically cheese stuffed dill pickles, and they are so good. Cheese and pickles, man, they just go together. Plenty of beer on the grocery shelves. Oh, it's time to make some beard batter onion rings then. Yeah, Jeanette, that's how the rain works here. I, I know in Florida when I was a kid, and actually through most of my life, we'd always be amazed when it'd be raining in our yard, but not our neighbor's yard. Here, that's almost an everyday thing. Yeah, Liz, it's not something that most people think. I mean, but we do eat pickles and cheese all the time together on hamburgers and things like that. So you kind of sometimes it's good to pickle canoes. um, so sometimes you just gotta like maybe take certain things that you like and deconstruct them. Take a few of the ingredients in there that you like and put them together. Um, oh yeah, Taz, grilled cheese with tomato basil soup, but you gotta have the basil tomato soup. That's what I prefer, anyways. Yeah, that's actually one of my quick go-to dinners. But yeah, I like doing experiments in the kitchen when it comes to food. Um, you'd be surprised about some things that go together. Like, I mean, whoever would think chocolate and bacon would go together, but even I have to admit that chocolate covered bacon is actually pretty good. It does sound a little weird, Dana, but give it a shot. I mean, what else you got to do right now? Yeah, Xander, it's something like that, and that's pretty much what we do. If it starts to rain and you don't like the rain, go down the street. Usually, if you change elevation, you change climate. Aloha, Camille. Ooh, quarantine in Vietnam. Oh, I'm sorry, don't mean to make you hungry. But, unfortunately, when I do the streams, food becomes a very popular topic because we all like to eat here. Mm. Okay, everybody, do me a favor. Hold on for just a few minutes. I want to go refill my glass. Running my mouth so much is making my throat dry and I'm thirsty. Pepper jack is good, Taz. But I found that cheddar, actually, and one of the keys too is you want to use very sharp cheddar. The sharper the cheddar, the better the cheddar stuffed pickles are. But, anyways, I'll be right back. Please, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, I'm back. That didn't take very long at all, since I'm sitting pretty much right here next to the back door at the kitchen. Well, Camille, if you have to live on what you have in the apartment for the next 14 days, it's time to get creative. I mean, really, if you think about it, you can have just a few simple ingredients, and you can make a lot of variety of different stuff. I mean, fast food restaurants do that as well. They have their base, ingredient list. Meat, lettuce, tomato, cheese, etc. And they're able to make a variety of items from just those few ingredients. So really, your imagination is your only limit. Yes, even though I advocate experimenting in the kitchen during this time, you do need to, be conservative because we just don't know how long this is going to last and what supplies will be like in the next, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Because at some point, if this stupid virus gets way out of control, more so than it is now, delivery services, warehouse services, things of that nature, they're going to be impacted, and the grocery store shelves are going to remain empty. It's just, because I mean, if the people that work in those industries get sick and can't work, then the trucks won't run. So right now, I think our most vital resource are truck drivers. So be nice to the truck drivers out there because they're keeping the shelves stocked for us for now. Oh yeah, Jan, that sucks. See, that's why you need a deep freezer. That way you could have had it stocked when you came back. You wouldn't have had a problem. May have been missing some of the basics, but at least you'd have a freezer full of something. Well, good for you, Camille. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, I do apologize. Well, that's true, Liz, but hunger is a very powerful motivator. So if I didn't have anything in the house to eat and I didn't have any way to get anything brought to me, I'd have to run that risk. But I'd be probably wrapped up in plastic garbage bags and duct tape. My own self made hazmat suit. Well, Minority Reporter, I totally agree with you. That's been like one of my cases or triggers for anxiety is, food packaging. Who touched it before me? But I think dipping things in bleach is a little overboard. You can simply use alcohol wipes or disinfectant wipes or anything like that, and that will do the trick very easily. I don't think your motorcycle helmet will help you that much, Taz. Unless there's a riot. Okay, then maybe. Um, no, right now the only time you have to worry about airborne, contamination is if you are around someone coughing or sneezing. Um, that's the biggest issue right there. And anyone that's got a cough or a sneeze, whether it's the coronavirus or not, stay home because it may be, it may not be, you don't know. And all you're going to do is freak everybody else out. It's like the other day when I was pumping gas, I heard someone, a couple gas pumps away, clear their throat. and got my attention real quick. Terry says no wipes left in Portland or metro areas and no hand sanitizers left. Well, that's okay. Here's a simple little solution. Use rubbing alcohol and tissues. So basically, wet the tissue with rubbing alcohol and use that to wipe things down. I think they're recommending 90% isopropyl, alcohol, but I don't know what the actual recommendation is to make that absolutely effective. But I think even your standard, which is usually 78%, I think is what usually sold. 80 something. I think there are different levels you can get. But most of your pharmacies and stuff, I think they do up to 80, 89% isopropyl alcohol, or maybe 92. I don't know. Um, but I do know that the alcohol will help sanitize for this particular virus. So you can make your own sanitizing wipes. And of course, soap and water is great for other surfaces. You can use soap and water to wipe down counters and things like that. That will definitely help. Actually, Lysol disinfectant sprays and wipes and stuff, they actually say on the back of the packages, at least the ones I've looked at, that they are effective against coronaviruses. And this is just another variant of a coronavirus, which is basically the flu virus. So those should be effective as well. You know what I think is funny? None of us even knew what a coronavirus was until all this started. So we've all been educated. Oh, really, Terry? Yeah, well, that's because that information spread pretty quickly across social media with the rubbing alcohol as an alternative. Oh yeah, don't worry, Lids. I'm a Florida boy from the countryside. We know how to survive, and I'm no fool. I do take certain precautions, and luckily I'm not a huge eater, so food supplies can be stretched out for me some. And on the last grocery store run, I made sure to get little extras of the basics just in case. Yes, Camille, regular soap does do the job. Actually, Xander, that is not correct. Soap and water has been shown to be effective on killing the coronavirus. I talked about this last night. The surfactants in the detergents work on it just like it does with dirt and oils and stuff. In this particular case, it causes the cell wall of the virus to break down and burst, which allows the guts of the virus to spill out, therefore making it inactive and killing it. That's why soap and water is being promoted as the number one go to, especially washing your hands and other surfaces. Because the coronavirus's cell wall is oily, it has lipids, and the oil cutting or grease cutting surfactants in the cleaners basically break that barrier down and disintegrate the cell wall. And so, yeah, soap and water will kill viruses. Maybe not all of them, but in this particular case with the coronavirus, yes, it is effective against the coronavirus. Actually, it's not necessarily the ingredient; it's the mechanism in which the surfactants work. I was reading about this the other day. Basically, the way soap cleans stuff is it creates a charge differential between the two surfaces. And the ion charge, and in this particular case, which was organic material, it attracts the water molecules inside the virus and causes them to basically to burst through the cell walls, breaking the cell walls and causing the cytoplasm inside to basically come spilling out, which will kill the virus. Um, Same thing with dirt is an ionic charge used to pull the dirt and grease molecules off of fibers and other surfaces. It attracts them and basically it emulsifies them, encapsulates them in the encapsulates them with their surfactants, whatever, and lets them be washed away. So it's really kind of interesting that it's a very common mechanism when it comes to detergents. So what we use detergents for, for when one way works, you know, the same way when it comes to microbes, germs, and certain viruses and stuff. But yeah, I figured why not put a little bit of science into this. The more you know, right? And like I said in last night's stream, I'm a big advocate of education. I believe, if you are educated on a subject, then you are more prepared to deal with whatever it be. Plus, if the news is, reporting things incorrectly or exaggerating them or dramatizing it, if you're educated on the subject, then you very quickly and easily see those omissions, exaggerations, or dramatizations being put out by social media or even news sources, and you basically have done yourself a big service that way. So you can identify that stuff. But again, that's just my opinion. Yes, Liz, I do. Knowledge is power. Well, right now, I don't think there's anything we can drink or eat that's going to really help protect us in that respect. And referencing Ingrid, I'm not sure if that's what she's recommending. But I look at it this way: if it won't hurt you, then there's no harm in trying. But just don't expect it to be the solution. Right now, the solution is social distancing, washing your hands, coughing into your sleeve or other, you know, material, disposing of that, and don't touch your face. Don't stick your fingers in your mouth or your eyes. So it's all a little scary, I know, but just become a germaphobe. If you become a germaphobe for a while, then you will lower your risk, in my opinion, significantly. Oh, Daphne, yes, absolutely. See, that's what I was saying when I was go out and to do just normal things. I'm very conscious of that type of situation where I'm putting my hands because, going just to a convenience store, getting gas, paying for it, going inside to get a soda, whatever the case be, is you're doing the exact same thing that everybody else done before you. We all have to open the door. We all have to grab the gas pump handle. We all have to hit the buttons on the keypads. So yeah, so you have to keep that in mind that when you get out of your vehicle, consider yourself contaminated. So you need to do some type of sanitation regimen before you get back in your vehicle. So that way you don't spread around your vehicle. And that's another thing too. Disinfect your vehicle. Get the sanitation wipes. Get soap and water. Wipe down your steering wheel. Wipe down your doorknobs, your window switches, buttons on the radio, your in-dash displays. Don't forget the button on the seatbelt as well. The gear shift. If so basically everything that you would touch. Every button, every device in your car, you need to wipe it down too, because when you go out in public, even if you don't get, contaminated by putting it into your eyes, you could still have it in your hands and you could bring it home. So, and our cars have a lot of hard surfaces in it. Um, and if your car isn't parked out in the sun where it gets, 130, 150 degrees in there, like down in Florida, the sun and the heat's not going to really help in that case. Like mine's parked under a cover, so, it doesn't get hot in there when the sun's out. All right, just going back through the chat comments here. I get off on my little rant and I lose track on the comments, so I have to go back and see if there was anything said to me or anything that I want to respond to. Okay, so Daphne, the hand pumps, absolutely. Okay, so we covered that. So yeah, rant on the gas pumps. There we go. Yes, Linda, clean your car interior. It only takes like 5-10 minutes to do. I mean, you don't gotta go all out on it. Just you know be logical about it. Yeah, our smartphones and tablets and things like that are really dirty devices. Uh, so you should be wiping them down and cleaning them, very often as well. Also, do not share your device with other people. Um, so if you can minimize your risk of contact, then your phone becomes a minimum risk of contact for you, unless someone says, "Oh, let me borrow your phone," and you hand it over to them. Then you've doubled your risk of contact in that respect. So keep your phone clean and keep it to yourself at this point. But as a rule of thumb, I normally don't let people touch my phone because I'm already kind of a germaphobe without all this. I just know, working in the tech industry in my day job, I know technology. I've worked in offices with computers, and I've seen some really nasty things when it comes to keyboards and mice and computer screens and at desk and things like that. And whew. Oh, you leaving us, Dana? Good night, Dana. Aloha. Thanks for joining. By the way, Dana, did you disinfect the remote control? Well, if your neighbor's not wiping down the doorknobs, they should be the ones paranoid. But yeah, I actually, it's funny. I went through and did that today because Scott had went out to the grocery stores this morning and stuff. So um, after he came in and probably contaminated everything, I went through, just to be safe, and I wiped down all the light switches, all the doorknobs, the handles on the water faucets, the refrigerator door handles, the dishwasher door handles, pretty much everything that gets touched on a daily basis in the house. And there's a lot of surfaces in your house that get touched that you don't even think about it. Tell Bob I said aloha, Jan. Um, Stuart, I think some viruses can. But again, the last information I heard, maybe new information's come out that I haven't seen yet. But this particular virus on glass, hard plastic, steel, stuff, very hard surfaces. This one tends to last about 3 days before it pretty much uh, dries out or does whatever it does and expires. On softer surfaces like cardboard and paper, about 24 hours is what they're saying. But I think in this case, we should err on the caution of longer time frames for any of this stuff, just to be safe, because this one is a new one for us. We haven't seen it before, and that's what's making this one so scary for everybody, is that this is the first time it's appeared in the human population. And when something, of this nature appears in the human population for the first time, there is one thing that we all know for, absolute certainty, is none of us have an immunity to it. That's why everybody that's in, contact with it contracts it. There is no immunity, and because our body hasn't seen it before, so you know, it's got to be infected to then, code for it, so it can produce, antibiotics to protect us from reinfection. Um, and that's why we have vaccines, so that we can acquire an immunity. That's how vaccines basically work. They make you a little sick to keep you from getting really sick. And I know that for a fact because when I was a kid, um, right after about 4 days after I got the MMR vaccination for measles, mumps, and rubella measles, I actually developed rubella measles, and the doctor confirmed that it was most likely from the vaccination, and I was just in that percentage group that would actually develop one of the illnesses for it. And so I got kind of sick. From what I was told, I was really sicker than I remember. But so that's why this thing is so scary, because none of us have any immunity. Yes, Jan, they do. Um, but I don't like thinking about those sometimes. I mean, bless all of us, but as a species, as an animal, we're actually very dirty creatures. We leave bits of ourselves everywhere we go, whether it be, our fingerprints or hair or skin cells. We're always leaving something behind. YouTube told you you need to take a break. That's funny. Do they realize that right now there's nothing else to do? So telling you to take a break is, isn't really going to make much of a difference. But oh boy, yeah, I just looked at the time. I didn't realize I've been streaming for an hour and 23 minutes. This is the longest one yet. So I really hope y'all are enjoying this. I'm doing this, for y'all, because I know there's a lot of y'all out there in areas that have been put on lockdown. Luckily, I'm not in that situation yet where I'm being forced to stay home or even strongly encouraged to stay home. It's all by choice on my side. But I figured, there's no reason why I can't sit here and hang out with all y'all for a little bit at least. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future, I think. I'm actually going to start these streams a little bit earlier. What I'm thinking about doing is I wanted to do them late at night because that was nice for me, and because I enjoy sitting outside at night. But I know for everybody, else in the world, the time isn't all that convenient, and a lot of y'all have caught it on replay versus live, and some have been disappointed because of that. So I'm going to start doing them a little bit earlier. So I was a little bit earlier tonight. Tomorrow I will probably be a lot more earlier. I'm not sure exactly what time. I haven't quite settled on what works for me and would work for all of y'all. So, but once I figure out a particular time that seems to be good for everybody, or at least for the majority of us, I will make that like the regular time so that you'll know when and not have to rely on YouTube notifications, which sometimes go out and sometimes don't. Uh, so I'll try to be a little bit helpful in that way, but we'll see how it goes. So it's an experiment. It's all new for me and for everyone else. So anyways, don't forget to check out the links in the description. Go over to the website. I will be doing some content that will be exclusive for the website and some early access stuff that will only be for accessible there early until it's posted on YouTube. So don't forget to sign up there for a free guest account. Don't cost you anything. And you also there's some wallpapers I've got up that are available to everyone, free to download. and I think I'm going to be adding a couple more soon. I haven't posted anything on Instagram in a while, but I do have a few images that I'm working on. I basically got to pull them out of the cameras and get them ready and formatted to upload. So, anyways, but y'all know the risk. Hit the thumbs up, please. Subscribe if you haven't, especially if you're enjoying these type of streams. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, select all notifications, etc., etc. And again, thank you. Mahalo to all of y'all for your support and your viewership. It's really been a wonderful experience for me, being able to share all these things with you. And, I won't say that I'm actually enjoying having to, share this stuff with the virus, because I would rather be sharing something else. But in the meantime, it is what it is. So, y'all have an absolutely safe and amazing morning, afternoon, or evening.